This video is the second in a series devoted to preparation for the new year in WECApro. This installment concerns building the school calendar. School calendar is an important component of the data that WECApro uses for calculating student attendance, average daily membership, and length of work year for employee contracts. If you have the administrative privileges to edit and prepare the school calendar, you will find that function under the screen labeled My School. And when you get to the My School screen, you will find a subtab that says ADM School Year Calendar. Beneath that tab is the information concerning the current active school year. There are explanations beside each one of the data points, but in brief, the current school year will be listed in the first box, and the current school calendar year in the second. This calendar year is always a single year date, as in the example 2015, which is the first year of the two-year span for a school year. So the 15-16 school year is calendar year 2015. When the calendar is completed, the system will analyze what is the first school day and what is the last school day. This will be based on the information that you put into the school calendar. Below that, in boxes 3 and 4, are calculations on the left based on the school calendar of the number of school session days and the number of teacher contract days. I'll come back to this in a minute. Let's talk about editing the school calendar for a new year. Click the Edit School Calendar button and you will get to the management screen for the school calendar. You will note these are unique for your school. There is a panel on the left with summary information about what's going on and with some filters at the top to control what data shows up on the right. In this case, we have the month set to April, and we have the school year set to the 2015 calendar. So in April of 2015, Rydell High School has these in-session days and these holidays. This column called Contract Day is the calculation column that's used to calculate the number of work days for employees and employee work agreements. To step through the year, there are navigation buttons at the top of the screen. To go back to the first month of the school year, click the left button here. That'll take you back to July of the current school year. So in this case, 2015. Or 2015-2016, and this is the number of days there are in July. And there are no school days in July. In August, there's some in-session days on the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th of August. And if you step on through the various months, you will see each month's calculations of the number of days in the month for students and the number of days in the month for staff. Okay, in order to prepare for a new school year, it's necessary to set up the calendar for the new school year. To do that, from the pull-down menu up at the left, select the next school year, in this case, 2016. You'll note that it will automatically take you to July of 2016. And we have no school in July. This year we're not going to start anything until after the 1st of September. So now we're in September. Now each one of the days in September, except the weekends, have got to be marked as to whether or not they are an in-session day, a holiday, or a non-work day. There are several ways to do that. the first way is to simply click on each day and respond to the pull-down menu. So if 9/1, which is Thursday, is an in-session day, meaning students and staff are at work, then select in session. When you do that, the ADM day will be marked automatically, and so will the contract day. Now that contract day can be manually disengaged or manually added for days that are not necessarily session days, but that might be teacher work days. So the second way to fill in for a month involves this new quick fill button at the bottom of the screen. It allows you to take a look at September and with the click of a button, fill every weekday as an in-session day. It will fill every weekday as an in-session day, and it will calculate the value for the ADM or for the contract day for staff. Now it happens that Monday, September 5th is Labor Day and it's a holiday. So after I filled it, I can go back and change that to holiday. And it happens that that's not a work day, so I can disengage the work day. Now this is where I can also make a note. And this note will appear on the school calendar or on the information calendar on the first menu page if I select this checkbox here that says Display Note on Main Menu. So I've set up September. I can click to the next month, October. I can fill the in-session days for October. No vacations. There's probably a holiday or two that I have to put in there. Once I've gone through the entire year and set up the year, you'll notice as we go along, each month is calculating the number of session days and work days, and it's also showing what the annual number of session days and work days are. This is based on the information that's been placed in the calendar screens. Once you've done an entire year, you can wait until July 1st, which is when the new year starts, and the system will automatically switch over to the 2016 calendar as the first and active school year calendar. The most important thing about getting the calendar done is to make sure that you have in the 2016 or the 2017 or whatever year you're working on calendar at least the first day and the last day scheduled. This is important because those are the dates that are used by the program when you begin to pre-enroll students for the next year or re-enroll students for the next year after the 1st of July. If, in fact, you haven't got those calendar dates set properly, then the ADM enrollment records will not carry the proper start and end date for new enrollees. So it's very important that you set this calendar up before you begin to roll any students over to the next year or enroll new students for the next year. When you have changed to a new year under the school year to edit up here, you will notice that this current active school year information down here still remains at 2015. It's because the program will not let you change to an active school year other than the one that's in force before the 1st of July. Once you have hit the 1st of July, you'll be able to move all of these records over to the active live side of the program. You'll notice that there's an Update Now button that shows up here because the system sees that there is a difference between the start day that you have set up for the current start day of the current active school year and the calculated first session start day on this calendar that you're editing. After the 1st of July, you can click this Update Now button and the proper first day for the next year will be written over to your static field. Before then, if you click the button, you'll just simply get an action denied warning that says you cannot update these values to a calendar year other than the current active school year. So I'm going to go back now to this particular screen. The data on this screen will remain as it is until the 1st of July, at which time you will be able to come in and write from the calendar table over to the active table in WECApro the values for the first and last day of the school year and for the number of ADM contact days and the number of teacher work days. You will accomplish that by clicking this update button here when there is a difference between these two values. This comes in handy if during the school year you find it necessary to alter your school calendar. So in this case, let's go in and take a look at the school calendar for 2015 and go back here to that August date. We have these session days in August that were not counted as work days and in fact were put into the calendar in error. There is no school for the 24th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th of August. So I can come back in after the fact and I can edit this information and take out the in-session days. And when I click over here on the summary panel, you'll notice that all of a sudden now, the first day of school for the current active school year is different listed on the live side than what is now calculated from the calendar. That is when you will use this update button in the active year to correct that information. So click update now. It'll tell you we're going to rewrite those functions, and then it will match those functions over to the live side. When we go back out here, we will see that we have now 175 calculated days, and we have replaced those 5 days, so we're out of sync right here. All we have to do is click this update button, and now the live side record for calculating student enrollment and attendance has been updated to the current and correct calendar. This is a long explanation of a very short and simple process, but a very critical one as you're getting ready to start the new year. The next segment that we will talk about will be preparing for the roll-up and marking students that are intending to return. There aren't a lot of changes in this function, and many of you watching this training video will already be familiar with it, but I would encourage you to look at the most updated version of the video for rolling new students or rolling old students over to a new year and enrolling new students.